double check everything is working again. Refresh the stream. Hey, all right, cool. We're on.
True
How's it
OG
going?
already in. Let's
Ooh,
go.
True OG always here first, man. Shout out to True OG. But what's up, guys? Here with Clean, here with Fable friends, and they are docs, but they prefer not to show their face on stream. So, how's it going, man? What should I call you, by the way, Fable friends? What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Murgle on the server. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to call you Mr. Murgle, or do you have another name?
Yeah, you can call me Richie.
Richie? Cool.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man. How you been holding up through this bear market?
Not too bad. Our perspective on it as a team is, the bear market is definitely the time to build. So that's what we've been doing so far since we started the project. Yeah. So, I mean, not too bad. It has its mostly downs, but for the most part, we're pretty much confident as Cardano maxis and, crypto maxis in general that the market will come back. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin halving is happening in what? 12 months, 18 months,
about a
pretty
year.
cool. So yeah, good time to build for sure.
Definitely. I know it's been pretty rough for a lot of projects. Unphased was going to mint, and then they decided to go back in their mint, and some other projects are lowering the price and lowering supply. So, have you guys thought about that? Have you had to lower supply or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So we've definitely taken that into account. So we've decided to just go for something really safe. Where we won't scare anyone off by releasing such a high mint price or high supply. So what we've done is we're going for a pre-sale sort of path. We're only going to release about 1,000 NFTs out of our planned 5,000 NFTs. So yeah, that's going to be this April 12th, 5 p.m. UTC. Just 1,000 NFTs. With that sort of amount, that's pretty much enough to work on the 2 existing applications that we've built, to scale a little bit more, hire a few more devs, and just keep on adding new features to the applications and roll out more apps. Yeah.
Gotcha. So for somebody who maybe doesn't know anything about Fable Friends, do you want to give a little introduction?
Sure. So Fable Friends Go started we launched our marketing, or rather our Discord, mid to late January, right? And more or less, it's a project that was born out of the discovery that we made trying to sort of, because I used to trade NFTs on Cardano originally, right? I started out in Cardano. But then I eventually got into Ethereum NFTs and Solana NFTs. And what I've noticed is that certain metas exist on Ethereum and Solana. And what would usually start on Ethereum, you'd see that happening down the line, 6 to 12 months down the line on Solana and then Cardano. Let me give you an example. Maybe, I don't know, 24 months ago, 2 years ago, alpha groups, right, started popping up all over Ethereum. Everyone started their own alpha groups. Some failed, some succeeded. Eventually, this meta, right, of alpha groups, basically a decentralized place to share information about upcoming projects, about information, about insider information, etc. It started popping up in Solana as well. Next thing you know, 12 months later, now you've got alpha groups on Cardano as well, right? So what alpha group's the oldest here in Cardano? More or less, you'll find out that it actually follows that pattern as well. So long story short, we've identified business models on Ethereum. On Solana that that we haven't seen before here, implemented here in Cardano. So that's why we started out this project to sort of do that same business model as well. And if you're curious, it's actually modeled off of Blocksmith Labs and Tayo Robotics, right? So yeah.
Gotcha. Do you have anything to say on that, Clean? Because I know
Which
you know
I'm
a
familiar
little
with
bit
Tayo
more.
Robotics. I mean, I kind of know them from Seoul, and so they have like the pilots and stuff like that, right? Are you doing something similar, like let's say with that?
Yeah. So When we say that we've sort of copied their meta, it's more or less the idea that you can have an NFT project, right? So you've got an NFT project with a community component to it, but behind the scenes, if you remove the NFT, it's actually a software company. They're building stuff for Solana. They're building stuff. They're building Solana centric software. So that's sort of the same thing that we're going for Fable Friends Go. Excuse me. We're building an NFT project, but behind the scenes, what we're trying to do is we're building Cardano centric software. So that's what I mean by that. So our first our yeah, so that's what we've been trying to do so far. Yeah.
Gotcha. I see on your Discord, it says that you'll be releasing a roadmap before you mint. Can you tell us anything about the roadmap now or some of the ideas that you plan to have in your roadmap?
Yeah, more or less we've released our white paper V1, but it's still not fleshed out. So we're going to iterate on that. But more or less, the approach that we've chosen for Fable Friends Go is we wanted to do I would say, proof of work concept, right? Proof of work concept. We wanted to release actual work first, release actual applications, right? Before we ever do a mint. And if we're going to do a mint, we're going to do a really low supply one, hence the 1,000 pre-sale NFTs. So it's more or less trying to attract the right kind of people into our community. Yes, it's not going to be as hyped as Alley Cats or all the other hype projects, but what we're trying to do is we're looking at because we're looking at the whole thing as a long-term endeavor, right? Right now, uh, I think last year when I checked Pool.pm, there's about 250,000 wallets with NFTs in Cardano. This year, around March or February, I think it's at about 260 or 280. Not a lot of growth there. So what I'm trying to say is, Ethereum and Solana are orders of magnitude larger than Cardano NFTs, right? So the reason why we're doing this, the reason why we're building applications for the long run, is we're anticipating a Cardano summer, right? We're anticipating a Cardano summer for NFTs, and that's going to happen sooner or later. But without the applications to onboard new users, then it's not going to happen. If we don't have Mercury, right, Blocksmith Labs, right? If you don't have Mercury for wallet collection, right, that's not gonna incentivize new projects from Ethereum and Solana to migrate over to Cardano. If you don't have Subber or Premint or Atlas 2, right, for collaboration purposes, then we're not going to attract the right people to join Cardano. And we plan to build those things for the CNFT community. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have some of those things that you're building that you want to elaborate on?
Yeah, sure. So right now, so last February 20th, we released Fabled List. So it's more or less a direct copy of Mercury. I'm not gonna lie, we're not trying to innovate here. As I've said, we're trying to look at the business models that already work, right? And we're implementing them in Cardano. There's no reason you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If something works, right, it works. So we built Fabled List, which is a direct clone of Mercury, and it's a wallet collection application. It's also a listing app, so I guess you can call it a calendar app as well. But more or less, its main focus is for wallet collection. And it's not a sexy term. It's not a sexy idea such as DeFi or whatever. But at the end of the day, it solves a very crucial issue in Cardano NFTs. And what is that issue? It is wallet collection and mass, right? There's no way right now for projects to be able to acquire, let's say, 5,000 whitelist spots, right? Distribute 5,000 whitelist spots and be able to collect that in the best way possible. And you might say, well, there's CNFT bots, right? You can just pay them. I don't know if it's for free or if it's paid, but you can ask for their bot, CNFT Tools bot, to go into your server, right? And people have to do their wallet collection, submit their wallets via the Discord bot. Now, great, it solves the problem of wallet collection. However, there's one thing missing. There's one component missing there. It's increasing wallet conversion rates. As a project, right? As an NFT project, doesn't matter which blockchain you're from. The most important thing is increasing your wallet conversion rates. It doesn't matter if you've got 5,000 collected wallets. It doesn't matter if you've got 10,000 collected wallets. If those if those don't mint, they're not going to mint, right? At the end of the day, it's super important that you increase your wallet conversion rates to turn to actual sales. And the great thing about wallet collection via web app is that it streamlines everything. You reduce mistakes in terms of wallet submission. You increase the amount of wallets you're collecting simply because it's in one web app. And the fact, right? I'm going to segue a bit here, but imagine if you've got 200 Discord servers on your Discord, right? All of those are NFTs. I'm pretty sure both of you have that right now. There's about 20 or 30 or 40 different projects, let's say, that's going to mint at any given moment. Guaranteed, you probably missed one wallet collection there, right? Yeah, simply because you don't have the time, in all your waking hours to check each and every Discord server for, hey, wallet collection's up, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to click the first server. You're going to have to parse out how they've structured their Discord. Is there a mint info there? Are they going to set up a specific channel that says wallet collection here, or maybe they hit it and you can't find it because you're not whitelisted? So it's just messy. You can't do that for every single server, right? So if you look at the app, it basically lists down all of the different projects that you're already in. So you're part of Goofy Gophers, you're part of Adastrium, Immortus, Ursus, and Knight. And you can see that both of those projects already opened their wallet collection. That's why it's showing up. And if you click on the other and upcoming projects on the second tab, it shows all of the other projects that have already signed up to use Fable List, right? But you're not necessarily a part of them. But if you wanted to join, then you could just click on the Discord link or icon rather, and then it'll join. Yeah. So that's how it works. It's completely for free, by the way. We don't ask any payment from the projects to list. We don't right now. It's freemium. We're going for a freemium sort of process where we want. It's going to be an uphill battle to acquire or change the culture of wallet collection, right? And it starts with this. It needs to be completely for free. The only thing we ask if they sign up with us is, hey, we're gonna need at least 5% of your total whitelist allocation, right? So that would mean either 100 or 200 whitelist spots. And what we do with those 200 whitelist spots is we just distribute them to our pass holders, right? So yeah, that's one of the main value adds right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
We got J-Hub saying, yeah, this will help me for sure. But I know you wanted to say something, Clean. Jump on in.
That is one thing that I do struggle with, right? And I think we all kind of struggle with. It's like, this is happening at this time, and then you just feel rushed, and it's like, whereas if it's all compiled, and what I don't understand is why people didn't necessarily do this before. I mean, I've seen it before in other places or whatever. Obviously, I'm not smart enough to like deploy per se something like this, or I don't have the time to produce it. So it's like, yeah, this will help you tremendously stay up to date on what's happening where, and then what's deploying on at what time. So this is definitely a good thing. I do like this. So yeah, I OG, I got like 1,000 plus at least, and it's just sitting there, and it's like sometimes it almost takes like a full day on one of my days off to kind of look up exactly what announcements are where and what's going on, and kind of the most recent announcements. So yeah, I mean, this is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm happy too that you said that it's free to join, because that was one of my questions. Was I think that this is a great platform and something that I think will help me stay up to date as well, because I've definitely missed even great projects I've completely forgot to whitelist, and that would definitely help. But I was just wondering how we could get everybody to sign up on your platform so that it truly could be a one-stop shop, rather than like, oh, like Fable Friends has like 10 or 15 projects that'll help me out, and then like some other project has like the other 10 or 15 projects. I was just kind of wondering how you would try to incentivize people to get all on one.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good question. Also, before I answer that, I just wanted to say that if you're a project and you're using this, one of the cool features that we have right now that's already live is, well, you can you can open wallet collection, enable it with just one button there, and you can also just download a CSV file of all the wallets that's been collected. So it's pretty convenient in terms of project management. Again, not very sexy, but at the end of the day, it's a very good utility for any upcoming project to use, right? But yeah, to answer your question, um, the thing is, right now we're in a bear market, right? We're actually right now there's not a lot of upcoming projects. There's not a lot of new projects that are being started. I think maybe I just don't have the alpha, but I think it's a matter of it's going to be a slow burn. It's not like Solana where when Mercury was released, after a couple of weeks, they already had like 1,000 projects listed on the platform. That's not going to be us. We're in Cardano. We have, I don't know, 1/10 maybe. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but we've got 1/10 or maybe 2/10 of their whole NFT ecosystem. So it's going to be it can be a good thing as well, because when that happens, when we get to a point where we're as large as Solana or Ethereum, as mature as Solana or Ethereum, then this application would have matured enough to be a no-brainer, right? And yes, you're actually right. There are other projects right now in the market that have released sort of like a similar sort of functionality as Fable List, and it's Mysterious Moai. They released last year, late last year, I think. The reason why we still decided to release this application is twofold. Number one, it's because this application works in tandem with all of our other planned applications. It's supposed to be an ecosystem of products where it's supposed to be a no-brainer for any project to launch with us, right? You get the whole package. You've got Fabled List, you've got Fabled Raids, you've got our own custom launchpad, and you've got other applications as well. That if you use all of those in tandem, then it just helps your project, your marketing, your whole management thing completely. Second reason being, when we decided to continue with this application, they decided to rebuild their application, and so that was a signal to us. They had to rebuild it from scratch, right? That was a signal to us that, okay, I think we can do it, right? We can do it. So that's basically it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I got sidetracked a little bit too. I was looking at your picture, and for a minute, I thought that the eyes were like Mr. Crab eyes, and then I just realized that it's a plug. But no, I loved everything that you're saying. I just had to make that little notice, that little comment. But do you know how long it's going to take to build out your plans and how much the costs are going to be?
Sure. So in terms of that, it's really difficult to sort of give timelines for development. So it's not something that I can really. It's not an exact thing, right? It's not an exact science. However, right now we've already released 2 applications even without funding. So let's just say worst comes to worst, we only mint 100 NFTs. That's fine. We know we have a game plan. We know the business model. We know it works. So we're going to continue building on it, keep improving it over time. Because the idea for Fable List is we're going to implement, of course, we're going to look for ways to sort of uh, find ways for it to generate revenue as well for the project, as well as the other application. So yeah, the point of the mint is to scale, right? Make sure that enable us to produce more features at a faster rate. That's it.
Right. So after mint, do you know you plan on hiring? If I remember correctly, I think I read that in one of your papers. Do you plan on hiring right after the mint, or is it going to be a little bit of time afterwards?
Exactly right after. Yeah, we can't lose time. You know how it is in NFTs, right? 1 month is equal to a year. So time is of the essence, most definitely. Yeah.
Right. So do you have somebody that you have in mind that you're like, hey, as soon as this happens, we would love to have you on board, or is it gonna you're just gonna start looking as soon as possible?
We're going to start looking as soon as possible. We don't have anyone in mind at this stage, but yeah.
Gotcha.
And then what, like without giving away like too much or like whatever, or give away as much as you want, like what's one feature that you would like to see on Cardano that isn't necessarily on there right now that works on other chains or is very beneficial, I guess you would say?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think it's fine. I think personally that all of the I think some projects are trying to go towards that route. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. I think right now the most important feature that we need right now in Cardano is collaboration features. Right, we don't have Subber, we don't have Premint, and we don't have Alphabot. We don't have Atlas 2. These are applications that are. Have you ever noticed why, if you look at an NFT project on Ethereum or on Solana, right? Their first post always gets to about 5,000 reacts and 10,000 reacts. Okay, you might say that maybe they bought bots, right? Those are botted. Partly true, but I also think that it's because of their collaboration meta. They have the necessary tooling to enable to funnel people to react to their posts. How does marketing work on Cardano? You post a tweet and then do a giveaway, and just hoping that someone will retweet it and it gets pushed up the algorithm, right? That'll only help you to a certain degree. The thing with all of these different applications that I've told you is that it funnels users so that if they want to get that whitelist, they're gonna have to retweet, they're gonna have to like, they're gonna have to follow the account. They're forced to do it so that they acquire whitelist. Multiply that by 5,000, 10,000 degens, and you've got equals to those posts, right? That's how it works. So how does Subber work? I'm an upcoming project, for example. I want to collab with Tire Robotics. I'm speaking with their collab manager. Hey, how about 20 whitelist spots for? I'm gonna give you guys 20 whitelist spots for your community holders only. Okay, let me make the let me send through the thingy from Subber or Alphabot. Okay, great. They accept the whole thing. They post it on their Discord, and to join that giveaway, quote unquote, well, that's it. Are you a holder? Yes. Okay, check. Must follow XYZ. Okay, follow, check. Retweet. Yep. Okay, retweeting. Liked, comment, tag two friends. Everyone's happy. They get their whitelists, they get their engagement. Boom. We don't have that in Cardano right now. So I think if anyone solves that problem, that's going to be a very good thing, not just for that project, but for the whole ecosystem, I think, Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to Twitter again, but I wanted to ask your mint, will that provide enough funds for the beginning stages, I would assume, because you said it's 5K, but you're doing 1K. So how long will that 1K last before you have to mint out the other 4,000?
That will last a long time, I think. That will last a long time. I don't think you ever asked, but I'm actually based in Philippines. So that mint fund for 1,000, I think that could go for a year, I think. Yeah. That could go for a year. Yeah.
Would you go a full year without minting out the other 4,000, or would it be, of course, more beneficial to mint out the 4K and try to hire some more people as early as possible?
Sure. Yeah. Not gonna lie, of course, it's going to be much more beneficial if we minted out the 4,000. However, that being said, minting the 1,000 would enable us to scale, but of course, that wouldn't even sort of give us any. At the end of the day, we're still doing part-time jobs. We're developers, and as much as possible, if we can go all in on this application, on this whole project, that would be much bit more beneficial, not only for us, but for the whole community as well. Yeah. But that being said, to answer your question, yes, I think it's possible to do that. I think it's possible. But then again, there are unknown costs to, like, for example, right? We've got this engage to earn bot on our Discord, and that actually costs us $200 a month just to, keep that up. And it's since I'm clean, you're aware of Solana projects. You might be familiar with Utility Ape. I think Utility Ape. Yeah, they've got that engage to earn button. Their pricing model is based on the amount of members on your Discord. So if it goes above 5,000 or 6,000, I think you have to pay $200 a month just to keep it live. So yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, we don't really know how much it's going to last us, but I'd say 6 to 12 months. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then in order to get a whitelist, you guys have games inside of your Discord as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, occasionally we do host games and giveaways on Twitter and stuff like that. Prior to the whole thing, we used to use Utility Apes Engage Turn, right? But now we've shuttered that, we've closed that. So we've already deleted it. I just deleted it like I think a couple of hours ago. So it's not there anymore. But used to be you could do quests. Like there's this quest that I made where you have to drop a GIF of our GIF on someone else's server, and people did that. So that was kind of funny. It's like covert propaganda or something. Um, and then you've got blackjack and or coin flip and stuff. Once they've earned enough coins, you can go to the store and purchase whitelists. Not just our whitelist, but the whitelist given to us by other projects as well. But not, at this stage, we've already done 3 purges so far, right? We at the start we had about 4,000 whitelisted users, but we kept purging because we just want to make sure we want to keep it really small, you know. So right now it's just going to be much more difficult to acquire it, just to honor the ones that actually grinded from the very start, and they're still there, of course, and yeah, that's 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 how you get whitelist for Fable friends. Go and also interacting on Twitter. Yeah.
Gotcha. And if anybody doesn't know, you can go over to the Atlanick Ocean. I believe we're giving away 5 whitelists. So let's go check that out. Let's double check whitelist raffle. We're giving away some ad astriums as well. And then we just did some for Fort Gotten, but we still have our Fable friends. So if anybody owns any Atlanick Oceans and wants a Fable friend, just keep that in mind. Well, let me go back up.
I saw your Soho kid Discord right there. I was kind of triggered there for a minute, Nick.
Hey
So,
man,
yeah,
they'll make a comeback one day, right?
that's fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah, so you see all these things with like the Cardano NFT space and stuff like that. Um, like overall, what is your goal? Like, would you want to do different things? Like, what's your idea of like testing, I guess, the bounds of apps on Cardano, or would you want to work with like Barry or somebody like that to like, oh, really hone in your skills? Or what's the end goal, I guess you would say?
Sure. The end goal is to become a brand known in Cardano for, creating actual utility for the space. Um, I think everyone's already heard it, but we're still early. Yeah, it's so used, but I think it's still true. I think it's still true, and there's still space for a lot of different projects to become well known. And it starts with here. Proving by releasing applications prior to mint. Hopefully, it's a signal for a lot of people to see that, hey, these guys are serious. These guys are serious. They're here to stay. And 1 year or 2 years down the line, which is a really long time in NFTs, right? Um, Hopefully we've already established ourselves as a brand that's comparable to, or even comparable to Thai Robotics or Blocksmith Labs, where they have actual applications that are sorely needed in this space, and they innovate, and they're profitable even without royalties, right? Without having to release another collection and stuff like that. Yeah, I admire those projects, really.
Yeah, I wanted to ask too, when we were talking about onboarding people, how many people do we already have onboarded for the Fable list?
Good question. So I think last I checked, that was 2 weeks ago. I don't know the exact numbers now, but I think traffic on an average week would be about almost 1,000. That was 2 weeks ago, so I'm not quite sure this week. But since we're not getting any new projects recently, maybe it reduced a little bit. But that being said, we're constantly rolling out updates and stuff like that. But yeah, to answer your question, about 1,000 uh, on average per week. Yeah,
So about 1,000 people are using it per week, but how many projects do you think?
Okay, well, for projects, I think we've got almost 30 plus have already onboarded,
Nice.
listed, right? Yeah. So we were quite aggressive when we started. At this stage, we're trying to slow it down to prepare for the mint. However, we're still accepting, of course, listings. I mean, we're still getting whitelist spots out of it, so it benefits our holders, right? Our pass holders. So yeah, about 30, I would say. And I think once we reach at least an average of about 2,000 unique users per week, we might start um, creating ads for it. I don't know, as a way to sort of create some sort of revenue stream. But yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Crap, I lost my train of thought.
that's
Clean, you go.
Wait, so let me get this straight. So you, okay, do you rely on you, um, like approaching these NFT like groups, or are they expected to approach you for like
right.
use of
Right.
your tools and other things like that?
Sure. So I would say 80 or 90% we approach them, right? 10% they approach us. And that's to be expected for a new application and a pre-minted project, especially for a pre-minted project. No one's going to approach us. But yeah, sometimes someone does approach it because they've seen it on Twitter probably, and they would ask about it on our Discord, open a ticket or whatever. But at this stage, that's pretty much that's pretty much to be expected at this stage. Post mint, that's going to be a different story, right? Once you've already minted, you're already in the ecosystem. You've already solidified your presence there, and we're expecting to get inbound leads, right, so to speak. But for
Yeah.
now, yeah, majority of the times we do the whole thing, like approach them. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that ties into actually what my thought was. So that was perfect, Clean. But I said so to get listed or use the app, it says that you have to open up a ticket. Will there eventually be a UI to apply on the site to make things a little bit easier for projects and for users?
Oh yes, of course. That's definitely something that we're trying to do at the moment. Of course, to automate our own process as well. Um, so there's already a button for it, but we still don't have the form ready. Blah blah blah. But yeah, they just input everything, and boom, you're listed. Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me because I think what you have is really smart. Also, by looking at other chains and seeing what's successful, I think that's very smart. I think some people may view it as like copying, but when it comes to software, I mean, everything's going to be a slight copy of something, right? Like
Exactly.
it's just like music. Like, you know, like rhythm goes like this. So it's hard to make different rhythm. So like I completely uh think that the best thing for y'all is to figure out the easiest way to onboard people just to make it as fluid, as smooth as possible.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I completely agree. That's definitely what we're trying to focus on. What we're going to try and focus on. Actually, yeah. Expect a lot of updates within the month. Yeah. That's
You
one of our main focuses.
Yeah, you also have the Fable Mint that I have up right here too. Do you want to talk a little bit about your minting service that you're providing?
Yeah. Sure. So Fable Mint, it's our own minting engine. It's as it says there, it's a multi-sig sort of mint. And we've got quite a few unique features for it. One is submint. So submint is direct is it's going to be on fabled list. So what it is, right, is imagine if you instead of okay, so you're a project, you've whitelisted 1,000 people, and you're going for a token based mint. Okay, similar to what MySphere just did, right? Those briefcase thingies on it or NFTs. What they did was they airdropped everything. The thing is, those that mass airdrop that costs money. Okay, so with Submint, you're taking advantage of the nature of multi-sig transactions, so that what the person just has to do is they just have to connect their wallet, right, and then sign the transaction, and just for the cost of 0 point dust fees, right? Dust fees, transaction fees, they get their token, right? You don't have instead of spending 1.5 ADA or 2 ADA, actually on JPEG Store it costs 2.5 ADA to do an airdrop per NFT. Okay, per NFT. For this, it'll only cost 0 point something ADA, and then the person gets their whitelist token or whatever token for that matter. And the great thing about Submint is it actually does two things in one go. they submit their wallet for the mint, so it gets whitelisted, and they receive their whitelist token at the same time. So cost savings, right? And you're forcing them to submit their wallet. And it's sort of like, I see it as a sales conversion thing, foot in the door sort of thing. If you manage to convince someone to submit their wallet, it's highly likely that I mean, you've already got them on the last part of the whole thing. They've submitted their wallet. Next thing is to mint, right? So it's a cool feature. Might be for other projects, it might not fit their planned mint structure, but for other projects, they might be able to take advantage of this. You can even connect it to the other feature, which is called trait magnets. What we can provide for any project is you can release, let's say, 1,000. Let's say you're going for a token-based mint, right? You're going to airdrop 1,000 briefcases. Okay, what if you've got rarity for those briefcases? Right? What if you've got gold briefcases, you've got fire briefcases, you've got ice briefcase, you know what I mean? And each type of briefcase can attract certain traits, right? And you can gamify the whole collection, right? If you use an ice briefcase to mint, you can mint an ice type mouse or NFT, trait magnets, right? Trait magnets. So it's quite interesting. We can do that for any interested client or interested projects. It's just a way to just gamify the whole thing. You create utility and gamify the token thingy, right? And yeah, it's much more fun. Trait magnets, and plus it's super. In Solana, token based mints are meta. Token based mints are meta, and I think it's going to be the case for Cardano too, in the future. I think so. That's why we're just jumping the gun, trying to do it right now and do it right. So yeah, the reason why it's so people love it is because, well, if you're whitelisted, you get a token, right? Let's say you get 3 tokens. Well, you can flip 2 and you can mint 1. You give them a free asset to play around with on the secondary market, and they can do whatever they want with it. You get free money and you get to play the whole thing, or you can mint the NFTs.
I just have one question about the sub mint. It says you'll be able to submit your wallet as a whitelist and mint your token at the same time. And then it talks about gated mints where you can check for that whitelisted token to be able to mint. But if you submitted your wallet for whitelist and then sold your token, would you still be able to whitelist?
Oh, no. So sorry. So the gated mints is for it's not just for token based mints. It could be for anything. Like you can only mint for if you've got Clay Nation NFTs, right? You can, I mean, gated mint. So if you're a holder of this collection, you can mint. You have access to the mint. So it sort of scans your wallet if you hold a specific NFT, and yeah, so that's how it works. But I'm not quite sure if I answered your question there.
Gotcha. I was just imagining because it says that you submit your wallet as a whitelisted user and mint your token at the same time. So it would put your address as a whitelisted address, but then you could sell your token. I was just wondering if there would be any like conflicts with that.
Yeah, good question. Of course, there's going to be a conflict. There's going to be a conflict. If you're whitelisted and you receive the token and you sold all of your tokens, then you wouldn't be able to mint. All right, you wouldn't be able to mint. The point of a token-based mint is for the mint is for the floor price not necessarily to go up. It's to give opportunity for everyone else who's much more bullish in your project to hoard as much tokens as possible. And the great thing about token-based mints is you don't necessarily have to burn the tokens. You can keep it as a collection and have more utility for it in the future, right? But yeah, if they sold it, they won't be able to mint. You're gonna have to wait for public.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so essentially, like, you release some sort of pass, right, Nick, and then they constantly pulls from that policy ID, right, and checks for it, and then if you, as long as you're holding that policy ID, you can mint. This is a good way, like, to provide value, I guess you would say, for, like, let's say Ape Society, right? Because that's like blue chip, like whatever. So you can give since it's based on policy ID, right, Richie?
I'm not the main guy for that, to be honest.
Okay.
So yeah.
But it's probably going to run off policy
I would
ID.
imagine so. Yeah.
Right. And so, okay, so you can give a collab with just the apes only, not the codas, not the cabin holders. You have to hold the apes, right? So you can incentivize these projects, right, to say, hey, I'll give exclusive mint rights to strictly the Ape Society like holders, the OG holders or whatever it is. And so as long as they run on the same policy ID, should be good as gold. And it provides value for them, so they feel great and they'll think, "Oh man, Fable Friends is amazing," because they're providing value, and like all I'm doing is holding this ape. So I love apes. I love Fable Friends. You know, it's a win-win, I guess you would say.
This would be great, I think, for Cornucopias, because Cornucopias has all those different mints. They got the lands, the trees, the bobbleheads, the jets. I just think if they did a mint like that, where you got something different and it was like a variation of rarity based off of which asset that you own, I think that could be really, really cool and maybe bring some hype back into some of our OG projects as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they're up to if they're interested in collabing, that would be definitely something that we're interested in. You know, those partnerships are definitely important for upcoming projects such as Fable Friends Go. Yeah.
Yeah, is there another piece of utility that you're building? Because I know there was the Fable Mint, there was the Fable List. Maybe I'm about to scroll to it. The Fable Raid, that's it. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Twitter raids that you guys are building?
Sure. Yeah. So we've got Fabled raids up just a couple of days ago. I haven't really updated the whole thing yet, but I'm gonna update that later. But yeah, Fabled raids is already up and running. It's a raid to earn application, right? It's a raid to earn application. Again, it's nothing original, but it's not yet here on Cardano, right? It's a simple value proposition. You're an upcoming project. You want to you want it to promote something, like maybe your mint date or something like that. You can go to fableraids.co, right? Publish your tweet, and it shows up on the platform. And if people join that raid, so they retweet, they like, they comment, blah blah blah, they get a chance to win ADA as a reward. So they get paid to raid, right? It's not necessarily first come first serve. It's raffled, right? There needs to be some sort of randomization process there, so a lot more people join. Yeah, I think this is definitely an important marketing tool that we don't have right now on Cardano. And you might say, and some people might say, oh no, we only want organic growth, blah blah blah. Well, it is organic. You're not paying bots to retweet and raid your posts. These are actual NFT people, right? And the goal and the thing with organic engagement is that these are organic simply because of the fact that they're helping push your tweet or your post further up the algorithm, right? So that's the point of the whole thing, to push your tweet to more users. If you buy bots, it just changes the number. It just looks good, but it's not really helping with your engagement because those bots don't really have any real people on their network of followers and follows, right? So 100 raids from our raid to earn app is more valuable than 1,000 paid bots, because those 100 people, well, they're being followed by other actual CNFT people, and that would be worth more. Yeah, so that's the point of the raid to earn application. And actually, down the line, one of the main things that we want to one of the main features that we want to add there is we want to give that functionality to other projects as well, so they can utilize their own community to raid. So everyone wins. They get a percentage of the profits, right? And their holders get to have their own holder only raids. So yeah, raid to earn.
So the way that it would work is basically like a project would have to hit you up. There's I'm assuming it's another ticket that you would have to open in the Discord, or is there a UI for this as well?
we're still discussing this, how we're going to sort of architect the whole thing. But the idea is they get to have their own UI, right? So they can approve, and they can approve or decline offers for raids. So other people can, for example, I'm an upcoming project. I see Clay Nation. Maybe they've got a white labeled fabled raids UI, right? I offer them, hey, can you guys raid my tweet? I offer X amount of payment, and they accept it. So um, the great so if they accept it, then all Clay Nation holders can sort of join that raffle for, let's say, 100 ADA, right? And so now my post is being retweeted, liked, and followed by Clay Nation people. This is great marketing, right? It's a win-win-win scenario for everyone involved. Yeah.
And so they send, like, for an example, in one of these they send 100 data in or whatever, and then the rewards that people get back, are they getting rewarded in Fable token, or are they getting rewarded in Cardano?
They're getting rewarded in Cardano for now. So for now, they're only being rewarded in Cardano, in ADA. And right now, our app is relegated to for public tweets. So if anyone posts or publishes a tweet to be rated there, anyone can join, right? Anyone can join. But at some point, we're gonna put a holder only raids, right? If you're a holder of this, if you've got this holder role, it shows up in a different tab. So okay, these are my holder only exclusive raids. Great, less competition.
I like that. That's a pretty cool idea too. And you said too, if they win, it's sent instantly. It's not something like Mutant where you can kind of stack it and then you take it all out at once. You just kind of get it instantly.
Yeah. So for us, what we're doing is we're creating a claim button, so it's not being sent instantly. It's not being sent instantly. But we definitely I did remember a conversation, and I did speak to my teammates regarding that sort of what do you call this, that feature where you can stack all of your rewards, so you can just take it in one TX. Because most definitely, yeah, that's definitely a good idea, right? I wouldn't want to keep paying TX fees for just one reward. I'd want to stack it and just get it in one go. But yeah, for now, you're gonna have to claim it one by one though. So I mean, it's a working concept. It's an MVP. It's in beta. So we're gonna keep developing it and keep improving it over time. Yeah.
So Ethereum has the one where they can follow Twitter engagements and they get ranked based off that. Is there any development in the future maybe for that? That's one thing that I really liked that they had, was like, well, you could see everybody's Twitter engagement, right? Based on their ETH, right? So like the Sappy Seals would sit there and they'd have one of the better Twitter engagements because X person tweeted 126 times a day, right? And so they kind of were on that leaderboard of like, hey, I'm the number one like Twitter person for ETH, this month or whatever it may be. Is
That's
there anything
interesting.
down the line maybe for that or no? Based
That's
on
interesting.
registered wallets.
I've I've not heard of this app before. How does it work? Sorry. Like
So basically they connect their wallets and their Twitter uh, and essentially merge the two, and then um, it just tracks how many times these people tweet and kind of ranks them on their social engagement scale. And then at the end of the month, it kind of says, oh, this person's number one. It's ranked all the way through top like 100, right?
Mhm.
And I'll figure out what it is, what it's actually called. But I've seen it like multiple times in my feed, and I think it's like a pretty cool thing. I mean, just for engagement and other things like that, it's something to strive for. Gamifying like Twitter engagement could be pretty fun for a project. So it's
Yeah.
another thing I would probably maybe
Yeah.
look into,
We'll definitely look into it. Yeah. This sounds quite interesting. I think this is in the realm of analytics, right? Yeah. And yeah, it's something that I'm not really aware of, but it might be an interesting thing to sort of delve into. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and share another screen because I wanted to show you have it's like your past collection, your Fable, the FFC, right? What's it called? The Fable Friends collection? What? Hold on, let me show the FFC. Boom. So you have your Founders Pass essentially. Do you want to explain a little bit about what the Founders Pass gives to holders? You might be muted if you're not aware.
Oh yeah, um, so the FFC Founders Pass is a collection of about 157 NFTs that we airdropped for free to our first few members, right? Unfortunately, as you can see, we're at 110 as our floor price, but it did manage to get to about 500 or 600 at some point. Um, uh, but yeah, at this stage, that's the current sort of floor price. But the Founders Pass is a really important sort of NFT in our ecosystem, right? So the way it works is it gives you a myriad of different benefits. First of all, it gives you the ability to mint unlimited during our mint, right? Second of all, you get a discount as well. So right, so if the minter recognizes you've got this NFT on your wallet, it automatically sort of gives you that ability to mint as much as you want, and with a discount as well. Aside from that, one of the main benefits is what we want to implement is during our staking period. If you have one of these NFTs, it acts as an amplifier. It gives you a multiplier for your token rewards. If you hold any one of these NFTs, right, alongside all of the other different of if you alongside the main collection, anyways, right. So of course it stacks as well, which is great. And one of the cool benefits about this as well is that you're automatically entitled to an allocation of whitelist tokens, right, during the token allocation phase. So we're going for a token based mint, meaning in a couple of days or weeks we're going to start collecting wallets for to airdrop or submint the minting tokens, right? And if you hold one of these Founders Pass, each pass grants you X amount of tokens for free. And you might say, why would you want to give us I'm a Founders Pass holder, I don't need tokens because I can mint unlimited, right? Why do I need whitelist tokens? Well, we're giving to you because, well, it's one added benefit. You can hold on to it if you want to, because maybe it might have future utility, or because you want to sell it. So it's just one added benefit that we're trying to give to Founders Pass holders. Aside from that, one of the main things I want to sort of push for this is the fact that one day we're going to be able to sort of at some point we're going to have launchpad clients, right? We're going to have clients that will want to mint with us. What we're going to do is we're going to take a certain portion of we're going to negotiate with the client, and we're going to mint pre-bulk mint certain amounts of their NFTs, right, at a discount, and we're going to airdrop these to our Founders Pass holders and to our main collection. So more or less, if you hold the Founders Pass, you might get a chance to get free NFTs even before they're minted. So yeah, we can do that because we're going to be the one who's going to mint that project. We handle the minting engine. So yeah.
So NFT Inspect is what it's called.
Sorry.
It's called NFT Inspect.
NFT Inspect. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Look at
Positive.
that, see what they've done, and I would encourage that. That would be pretty cool thing. Yeah.
Interesting. They even have a Chrome extension. They've got an API. This is a huge project. Like it's a huge project in of itself. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's really cool. I think their strategies, they're going for the long run. They know for a fact at some point this is going to be very valuable for Web2 companies moving over to Web3. I think they want to be acquired or something. Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, I wanted to ask as well on a separate note about the art. I see that you guys chose to go with a pixelated approach. Was there any reason for going with a pixelated approach, or are they maybe a little bit cheaper to make, so it's a little bit easier to make with like a software related project?
Mhm. Yeah, the reason why we went for a pixel related sort of a pixel themed project is because we're fans of I personally like Moonbirds and this Solana project called Critters Cult. Yeah, Critters Cult, and also Immortals as well. I love their. I really love their pixel art, so that's why. And the interesting thing about the collection is the fact that we we didn't go for one base. What I mean by that is, right? You've got Bored Ape Cardano Club, and it's the base part is an ape, right? So for us, we sort of made our own twist, and there's going to be a lot of variety in terms of different creatures, as you can see. So there's a devil creature, and there's a blah 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 creature, and I guess the cheesy part about it is, I guess you can say, we're sort of trying to celebrate the diversity of the NFT ecosystem, which is true, right? So as you can see, many different types of creatures that all work. So that's how the lore works. Actually, many different creatures from faraway lands, they joined in, right? They sort of banded together to build Fable Friends Co. And yeah, they built their own golden city, and everyone's working together to build amazing stuff. So yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that seems pretty dope. Are there going to be any familiar characters or anything like that? Maybe, not necessarily like celebrities, but I would say like NFT celebrities, like something that is like a Bored Ape or a Pepe
Oh
or
yeah, for sure. There's definitely a Pepe there. Yeah, yeah.
okay,
There's one of those, and we've got a Cardano coin creature. We even had a Goofy Gophers creature as well. For we sort of shared that before they're mint, right? So that's
nice.
pretty cool. We've got a Goofy Gopher NFT there. Uh, we've got this anime inspired creature called I think it's Pochita from Chainsaw Man. We've got that as well. I've got a monkey NFT. We got even that one, a panda. So there's just so many different creatures. It's a yeah, and there's going to be different classes as well. So there's like we grouped them into four different classes. And if you scroll to Fable Friends to the Fable Friends channel, we've sort of released the first sort of type of Fable Friends, which is the coin type Fable Friends, right? So there's going to be a Cardano coin creature. There's going to be an Ergo creature. There's going to be a Bitcoin creature. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Just gonna let everybody know we got about maybe 4 or 5 minutes left. We're gonna wrap things up. I know Clean's got to go pick up his kids, and I got to go get some things ready as well. If there's any questions that you guys have in the audience, let us know. And Fable Friends, Richie, thank you so much for coming on, man. And if there's anything that we didn't cover that you want to cover, the floor is yours.
Yeah. First of all, thanks Atlantic and I'm Clean for platforming us. Really appreciate it. And the only thing that I want to say, of course, this would be the same thing as what my teammates would want to say, is we hopefully we did everything's right. We're not the most hyped project, but we're sincere. We released MVPs, right? Betas for applications prior to mint. It's a statement to show the fact that we want to build and stay for the long term. We're also going for a low supply mint, a pre-sale of about 1,000 NFTs to show you guys that this isn't the crash cap, right? We want to build for the long term, and if you guys are looking for long term projects, then we're the team for you. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well. Anybody who builds before the mint definitely has my respect. There's always going to be somebody out there that's like, oh, well, I could have built that before mint too. Like, okay, all right, sure, maybe, all right, but I do respect that. I definitely respect building before the mint. I think what you guys have is really cool. I think doing the research on other chains to see what's successful and then bringing that over to Cardano is just a smart idea. I don't see that as like a copying thing, because I'm just covering my base because I know that there's a bunch of you out there, but that's just how I view it. But yeah, I respect that.
Would you
Like,
like to participate in a new segment on our show called "What's in Your Bag"?
what? All
Ooh.
right, what's that?
There's a new segment we're gonna go through. I wanted to know to see if you want to participate.
Yeah,
It's
sure,
called
sure.
"What's in Your Bag."
Sure.
Okay,
That's
so
good.
you
That's
traveled from chain to chain. Okay,
good.
and you've collected NFTs along the way, I presume, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
what are some of your biggest hits
Mhm.
and what are some of your biggest misses? You know?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I would say my biggest hit would be I think it might be a bit unconventional. Okay, I'll start with my biggest loss. I got scammed in Ethereum. I was using I used to trade I used to swing trade NFTs, right? And what I would do is I would have icy tools, I would have block probe and this a gem XYZ sweeper all open at the same time, and I would wait for relevant movement in the market. Let's say, for example, I'm tracking Sneaky Ninja ETH's wallet, and I would look at what's happening, with what he's doing. And if I see him sweep, I'll sweep as well, and then I'll just watch the charts using a block probe. And if there's enough volume, I'll sell. That's how I make a profit. My biggest loss was when I saw a transaction on Sneaky Ninja's wallet, and I saw that someone sent him some random luxury branded NFTs, and I was like, okay, what is this? I saw, okay, there's a Lamborghini NFT. Oh, okay, there's a Chanel NFT going inside his wallet, and I was like, okay, let me just. I went to Block Explorer, followed all the links, and I thought I was so clever, right? That I discovered a secret minting site. So I clicked on it. Um, and I saw that, okay, holy, there's only less than 50 NFTs left, and so I minted and I lost about $5,000 minting all of those. Yeah, so that really hurt. That really hurt. I was really, yeah, and I just realized, okay, those were scammers. What they do is they know people track those wallets, and what they do is they send NFTs to those wallets to show that their wallet's minting something, but they're not actually minting anything. And so, oh man, that hurt a lot. That hurt a lot. That hurt a lot. And yeah, after that, I just left Ethereum and went to Solana because of that loss. But my biggest win would be a bit unconventional. I didn't make money off of it, but I'm still super proud to be one of the holders. It's actually an Ergo NFT. Um, there's this collection there called Simulacra NFTs, and he's actually the OG. It's actually the OG collection in Ergo, and there's about 100 of those. They're what you call Genesis NFTs. They're one of the first NFTs ever minted on the Ergo blockchain, and used to be you could buy these on Ergo auction house, right? And I managed to get to a point where he didn't sell them like in one go. He would have these auction starting with 0.1 erg, right? Every week. Every week he would mint one and put it up at 0.01 erg. And I would win the auction for like 1 erg, which cost what, $4, $10. And so I've got quite a few of those. And I checked on the blockchain. They're actually one of the first few NFTs minted on the blockchain. So they're kind of like berries, but not berries because they're not valued as much. But it's historical, and it's a historical NFT, and I'm happy to hold it. I'm super bullish on Ergo and what Alex is doing. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I wish I had a berry, if only, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
man.
Me too. Me too.
Oh,
Uh,
but
that's cool. That's cool. That's definitely cool. I definitely I that's probably one of my most favorite sections is section of the show is like what's in the bag. Like what are your hits, what are your misses, like.
Oh man, I got scammed. I can't get over it. Holy shit.
Yeah, I started off ETH and like Mechaverse or whatever.
Oh,
I'm
Mechaverse.
still trying to pay that off right now. So
Oh man,
yeah.
Mechaverse. I
So
remember
yeah.
that. That was where the dev sort of found sort of had all of the rares memorized or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
Is that
Right. And yeah, it was rough. But my biggest fumble lately has been Nakamigos.
But you made money on them.
I did. I made money.
So,
But again, it's one of those things where it's like, well, I had like 30 of these things, and I was like, you know, if you're talking about it now, the floor price on it is like $800.
Oh man.
You know, so when you're talking about 30 at $800 each,
yeah.
man, I really fumbled a bag there. You know.
Yeah. I always say that, like, if your plan wasn't to ever hold and then it went crazy, then like you didn't lose. If your plan was to hold, then you changed your mind and you flip flopped back and forth, and like then you lost. But if you executed your plan, you made money, then I don't view that as a loss.
Yeah, I know. It's still a game, but the thing is like, well, I could hold a mutant ape right now as opposed to not holding one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think those will probably next bull market maybe like 30 ETH, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, they peaked at what, 400,000 floor? They had a $400,000
I
floor,
think
I want to say, at their peak.
it was pretty close. It was like pretty high up there. It was like,
Yeah.
I want to say their peak was at like only like 100 to 90,000. Yeah.
No, I think that's what they were after like halfway through the bear market.
Really?
I want to say, don't quote me, but I was following them. I even made like a video or something like showing like how much they've fallen. I want to say, but yeah.
You're still not like affordable, I would say.
No, not at all. I mean, they're still like, you know, 2 supercars put together, but like,
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I do have to end it here. I got to go do some things, got to run some errands. But Fable friends, thank you so much for coming on. Clean, thank you as always. Everybody in the show, J Hub, Hugs Not Rugs, even though I forgot to cover old money in the video. I love all you guys. But yeah, remember to get outside, see your family, see your friends. We're here to make more money so that we can spend more time with them. And because I forgot to say it, everybody, if you want to check out more of Fable's friends, their socials are in the description below. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.
Thanks, Clean.
Yes, sir.